Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. There's been a significant increase in the number of New Zealand children living in poverty. More than 23,000 more children were recorded living in material hardship than the year before. Stats NZ says it's the first time there's been an uptick in 4 years. A spokesperson for Stats NZ says for many households, incomes after deducting housing costs did not keep up with inflation. Adam Hollingworth reports.
Dave Letele knows it without looking at the stats. Poverty is on the rise and he and his staff are struggling to stay ahead of it.
We can't keep up. We actually don't know how long we can keep going.
Nearly 144,000 children, that's 1 in 8, are now in material hardship. That means they're missing out on at least a third of what are considered essential items at home. For Māori, it's 1 in 5 and 1 in 4, nearly 29% of Pacifica children.
Well, it's heartbreaking when you think of the children. Everything we do here is for children, they have no choice of where they're born into.
Those stats matched by the growth in people wanting help from Auckland City Mission, with staff dishing out food, talking about seeing hope and shame in equal measure.
They're talking about people, and often particularly women and women raising children alone, who are bravely doing what they can, everything within their power, to really respond to the needs of their children.
Child Poverty Action Group says all progress has stalled and will go backwards with changes to the benefit rates.
I've been worried for some time about the lack of progress on child poverty. These figures confirm that, and in the current environment raise some very serious red flags about what lies ahead for probably up to 15% of New Zealand children.
The Prime Minister wants to drive down the poverty numbers by driving people to work, sanctioning those who don't go to job interviews.
We are determined to get people off welfare and into work. When we do that, we know the outcomes for children in those homes and those families is infinitely better.
This government they have not even talked, it's not even in any of their manifestos about what they're going to do. That childhood poverty is not even there. It just shows, again, that they just don't care. They can talk all they want to, but it shows they don't care. In the last government, they weren't much better, but at least they were talking about it.
We've been in a really obscene situation in the last 6 years. How on earth do you have low unemployment, lots of worker shortages everywhere across this country, and we put 70,000 more people on welfare?
Child Poverty Action Group says a Ministry of Social Development report from 2022 showed 52% of children on the breadline have at least one parent in a job.
There is absolutely no interest in actually putting in place a range of policies that will enable government to meet these targets.
The Prime Minister says he will focus on families in extreme need, but won't accept long-term welfare dependency.
And you can talk about kindness and caring and a whole bunch of words, which we saw over the last 6 years, but it is not good enough to consign people to that life, and that's what we're going to do something about it.
These stats went back to June last year, 5 months before the current government was formed. The next figures will show if the new approach works. Adam Hollingworth, Newshub.